Realized I was dating my crush's brother, and I'd been crushing on Lucas Reed since junior year of college. He was the kind of guy who lit up a room without trying. Tall, with messy blonde hair and a laugh that made you feel like you were in on the joke. We'd met in a literature class, bonding over a shared hatred of Moby Dick, and for 2 semesters, I orbited him like a moth around a flame. Study groups, late-night diner runs, the occasional party where I'd catch his eye across the room. Every moment felt like it could tip into something more, but it never did. He was friendly, warm, but always just out of reach, like a song you can't quite name. By graduation, I'd resigned myself to the fact that Lucas was a what if I'd carry forever. Life moved on. New city, new job, new distractions. But he lingered in the back of my mind, a soft ache that flared up when I heard his name. Fast forward 3 years, and I was 25, single, and swiping through dating apps with the enthusiasm of someone doing taxes. That's when I matched with Caleb. His profile was low-key, a grainy photo of him hiking, a bio that said, "Good at bad puns and finding dive bars." We texted for a few days. Quick, witty exchanges about our favorite shows and worst first dates. And I liked his vibe. He was sharp, easygoing, didn't push too hard. When he asked me out for drinks, I said yes without overthinking it. A date was a date, and I was tired of waiting for lightning to strike. We met at a bar downtown, one of those cozy spots with Edison bulbs and overpriced cocktails. I got there first, nervous but hopeful, and when he walked in, my breath caught. He was familiar, somehow. Not movie star gorgeous, but striking. Dark hair, sharp jaw, eyes that crinkled when he smiled. He looked like he belonged in a flannel ad, all rugged charm, and when he spotted me, his grin was so warm I forgot my nerves. "Ellie, right?" he said, sliding into the booth. "Hope I didn't keep you waiting." "Nope, just got here," I said, smiling back. The night flowed like it was scripted. We laughed over his terrible puns. He wasn't kidding about that. Swapped stories about our jobs. He was a physical therapist. I was in marketing. And split a plate of fries when the drinks hit too hard. He had this way of leaning in, like every word I said was worth hearing. And by the time we said goodnight, I was buzzing with possibility. He hugged me. Quick, no pressure. And texted an hour later. Had a blast. "Round too soon?" I said yes. Of course I did. We started dating. Nothing official, just steady. Coffee dates turned into dinners, dinners into movie nights at my place. Caleb was solid. Thoughtful, funny, the kind of guy who'd show up with my favorite takeout when I'd had a bad day. He wasn't perfect. He left dishes in the sink too long, got grumpy when he was tired. But those quirks made him real, not a fantasy. I liked him. A lot. Enough that Lucas, my old crush, started fading into the background. A ghost I didn't need to chase anymore. 3 months in, things got serious. Not meet the parents serious, but close. We were spending weekends together, planning a road trip for the fall. I was falling not hard, but steady, and it felt good. Safe. Then came the night that turned it all upside down. It was a Saturday, warm for October, and Caleb had invited me to a barbecue at his place. A small thing, just some friends and his brother, who was in town for the weekend. "You'll like him," Caleb said, tossing a burger on the grill as I chopped veggies in his kitchen. "He's a bit of a goof, but he's solid." "Older or younger?" I asked, curious. Caleb rarely talked about his family. I knew he had a brother, but that was about it. "Older by 2 years, he said, flipping the burger. "He's the artsy one. I'm the one who can actually throw a punch." He grinned, and I laughed, nudging him with my hip. The doorbell rang, and Caleb jogged to answer it, leaving me to finish the salad. I heard voices. His, then another deeper, familiar in a way that made my skin prickle. I brushed it off, blaming the beer I'd sipped, but when I stepped onto the back patio, salad bowl in hand, the world tilted. There, leaning against the railing, was Lucas Reed. Same blonde hair, same easy grin, same everything I'd spent years trying to forget. He was talking to Caleb, gesturing with a beer bottle, and when he turned and saw me, his eyes widened. "Ellie?" he said, voice bright with surprise. "No way. What are you doing here?" I froze, the bowl nearly slipping from my hands. Caleb glanced between us, brow furrowing. "You two know each other?" My mouth went dry. "We went to college together," I managed, my voice sounding like it belonged to someone else. Lucas nodded, still smiling, oblivious to the storm breaking inside me. "Yeah, lit class, right? God, it's been forever." He stepped forward, pulling me into a quick hug, and I stiffened, caught off guard. Caleb was watching, his expression unreadable, and I felt like I was drowning. "Small world," I said weakly, setting the bowl down before I dropped it. Lucas launched into a story about our old professor, the one who'd butchered every poem he read, but I barely heard him. My brain was screaming one thing: Caleb's brother. Lucas is Caleb's brother. The barbecue went on. Burgers, beers, music playing low. But I was on autopilot. Lucas was his usual charming self, joking with Caleb's friends, tossing me nostalgic glances like we were old buddies. Caleb stayed close, his hand brushing mine sometimes, but I could feel his eyes on me, picking up the tension I couldn't hide. Every time Lucas laughed, it was like a knife twisting. Not because I still wanted him, but because I'd spent so long building him up, only to find him here, tied to the man I was falling for. When the night wound down, Lucas pulled me aside, leaning against the kitchen counter as Caleb cleaned up outside. "Hey, it's really good to see you," he said, voice softer now. "I always wondered what happened to you after graduation." "Yeah, you too," I said, forcing a smile. My stomach churned. He was still Lucas. Still the guy I'd pined for. But standing there, I realized he wasn't the one I wanted anymore. That was Caleb, with his bad puns and steady hands. But how was I supposed to navigate this? How was I supposed to tell Caleb I'd spent years hung up on his brother? "You and Caleb seem tight," Lucas said, tilting his head. "He's a good guy. Better than me, probably." I laughed, short and nervous. Yeah, he's great." Lucas grinned, clueless, and headed back when outside. When I swiped right, I stayed in the kitchen, gripping the counter, trying to breathe. Caleb came in a minute later, wiping his hands on a towel. "You okay?" he asked, voice low. "You've been weird since Luke showed up." "I'm fine," I lied, but my voice cracked, and he stepped closer, eyes searching mine. "Ellie, come on. What's going on? You know him from college, sure, but there's something else, isn't there?" I wanted to run, to hide, but his gaze pinned me in place. "It's complicated," I said, finally, my throat tight. "Can we talk about it later?" He frowned but nodded. "Yeah, whenever you're ready." Later came too soon. That night, after Lucas and the others left, I sat on Caleb's couch, picking at a loose thread in my jeans. He sat across from me, patient but tense, waiting. I took a deep breath and let it out. All of it. How I'd crushed on Lucas for years. How I'd built him up into this impossible thing. How I'd never expected to see him again, let alone as his brother. "It's not like I still feel that way," I said, rushing to explain. "It was ages ago, and you're the one I'm with. But seeing him tonight, it just threw me." Caleb listened, his face still, but I could see the hurt in his eyes, the way his jaw tightened. When I finished, he leaned back, running a hand through his hair. "So, what? I'm the consolation prize." His voice was quiet, but it cut deep. "No," I said, panic rising. "God, no. Caleb, you're everything Lucas never was. Real. Here. I didn't even know you were brothers until tonight. But you wanted him," he said, not looking at me. "For years, you wanted him." "Wanted," I said, desperate. Past tense. "I want you now." He didn't answer right away, and the silence was worse than any argument. Finally, he sighed. "I need some time, Ellie. This is A lot. I nodded, tears burning my eyes, and left, the door clicking shut behind me like a full stop. The next week was hell. Caleb didn't ghost me, but he was distant. Short texts, no calls. I gave him space, hating every second of it, replaying that night over and over. I'd been honest, hadn't I? I'd told him the truth, even when it hurt. But what if it wasn't enough? What if Lucas, without even trying, had broken us? Then he texted, "Can we talk?" I went to his place, heart in my throat, expecting the worst. He looked tired, shadows under his eyes, but he let me in, gestured to the couch. "I've been thinking," he said, sitting across from me. "About you, about Luke, about all of it." I braced myself, but he kept going. "I was pissed, okay? Not at you, not really, but knowing you wanted him first, it messed with me. He's always been the golden boy, you know? The one everyone notices. I'm just me. You're not just anything," I said, voice shaking. "Caleb, you're the one I chose. Not because Lucas wasn't there, but because you're you." He looked at me then. Really looked, and something softened. "I believe you," he said finally. "But I need to know you're all in. No ghosts." I said, meaning it. "No ghosts." He nodded, slow, and reached for my hand. It wasn't perfect, wasn't fixed, but it was a start. Months later, at a family dinner, Lucas included, I sat next to Caleb, his arm around me, and felt it, certainty. Lucas was a memory, a flicker. Caleb was my now, my maybe forever, and I wouldn't trade him for anything.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you'd love to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. See you in the next video.